I guess my mom inspired me to freeride ski, or like just to love skiing as much as I do. I grew up with my mom, and my mom was a World Cup skier, a downhill skier. So she loves skiing, and she introduced me to all kinds of skiing, from telemark skiing to, of course, like alpine skiing, racing, but also to powder when I was a kid. And I remember we used to skin up with telemark skis and then, shred off piste. And since the first day, I remember that I was so fascinated by fresh snow, and I was always very attracted to it. So I guess my first ever and biggest inspiration is for sure my mom. And then it definitely grew, and I got inspired by other skiers when I wasn't a powder skier yet, like Chris Benchetler is for sure a big inspiration. And then it's nice to just like have always some kind of inspiration up the mountain. So yeah, it's never ending. I guess the big challenges were the injuries. For sure, I had a big one a few years ago where I destroyed my knee. Thanks God I got hurt pretty late in my career, so I was already I already had a good place to get hurt, I would say, and I had a lot of support, but the comeback was for sure pretty hard, but also very positive because I had time to think and I had time to figure out what I wanted to do. So yeah, big challenges usually come to help you out in life, so it was a good one. I don't know. Well, I like to live very far from everything and everybody. So I'm a bit of a weirdo, maybe. I don't know if people notice. Maybe they did. But yeah, I don't have too many secrets, I guess. So I'm open. I'm open to share all my secrets. Well, this changed over the years for sure. I used to be very, very loose with it. But now I'm getting a bit older and I figured I need to train a little more maybe to have the same fitness. And for sure also the injury helped me to figure out that training is good for me. I also studied physiotherapy, so I think I can be pretty efficient in my training because I know where I have to focus. But it's constantly changing the preparation. I always try to listen to myself and figure out what is good for me in that moment. And that can be from doing a lot of sport to also doing a lot of chilling. I think it's very important to listen to yourself, to your heart and your head, and not having too many conflicts oh, I should be doing this and that, but just trying to go with the flow. The past years, for sure, climbing has been my sport to go in the off season. And I think it was a really good one because I had to fight with some big fear. And I had to find a lot of peace while moving slow, which is not easy because I'm used to move very fast, especially with skis. It's fast fear, and with climbing, it's slow fear. So that was a big challenge. And when this time of the year comes around, so October, November, I start to go to the gym a little more often to make sure my legs are ready for winter. And then slowly start skiing. And as I said, I think most important is just to listen to yourself and respect yourself. That always works. Yeah, for the gym sessions, I have a coach because sometimes I'm a bit lazy. So it's if I train alone, I don't train so much. So I really need someone that kind of tells me what to do. And I'm super thankful for all the people at Base 5. They have here in Innsbruck, they have been helping out a bunch with my injury, and they're taking good care of me. And I for sure became a way fitter person in the past few years. So that's great. And super happy about the support. Well, a typical off-season training day, as I said, it changed over the years. Back in the days, I was definitely going towards biking. but the past years I've been switching over to climbing a lot. And I guess the big days are those where you wake up early and you have kind of a longer approach to the wall. So you have some walking, hiking to the wall, then a longer multi-pitch where for sure you need your whole body and most of all your brain. And then you rappel or like hike down, and at the end of the day, it's like super long days, um, where, yeah, pretty intense. Also, you don't eat much, you don't drink much because you don't carry much. And I think those are for me the super intense days, and I'm always happy when I go back skiing. I think it's so easy compared to climbing, and gravity is pushing you down anyway. So every time the ski season starts, I'm pretty hyped because it feels so easy. Yeah. Yeah, risk management and safety is a topic where I definitely put a lot of time and thinking the past years, especially after I was involved in a rescue. That scenario, unfortunately, kid died, and it was a very heavy experience for me, and for sure that changed a lot how I wanted to continue about safety, especially being a professional rider. I think it's such a big responsibility that we have towards the kids to not only show how sick it is to ride lines, but also there is so much work behind it. There's so much like preparation, and also many times you have to step back and don't ski your line. And I think it's very important to be clear with that with the next generation, that it's not only sending and likes. Me personally, I try to prepare every year. So I'm super thankful because Legs of Steel, they organize a really, really good preparation in December. And we always like repeat, but also we learn new skills every year. For me, it was like eye-opening when I figured, yeah, I'm really good at like the whole like digging and searching and blah blah blah. But then when it was like first aid, I figured, I don't really know much. Like, yeah, I can get someone out of an avalanche, but then the steps afterwards can be very tricky. And I'm super thankful that I got the chance to learn more about first aid in the mountains, which is for sure different than first aid on a road. So I think, yeah, my advice is to never underestimate the risk, to take a lot of courses. It's never too much. And again, to listen to yourself and be aware of the group dynamics, because sometimes you get in a situation where you don't feel like skiing something, but then the kind of group pressure makes you ski it, and that can be very dangerous. So yeah, just advice to everybody out there is to, yeah, be prepared for the worst, because when it happens, it's not fun. I just like to have fun usually. Yeah, that's my only goal. So, I'm always trying to, yeah, find a line where I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be doubting about it. I just want to be fully hyped about it. And usually that's my way of approaching a comp. I don't have like a special ritual before. I just try again to like listen to myself and see how I feel that day. And yeah, try to go with the flow and don't stress out too much. Yeah, I'm not late at the starting gate, but usually I'm usually not there a lot before my run. But yeah, just try to stay relaxed and have fun. No, I don't think so. I mean, we will see when it gets a bit closer if I feel under pressure, but I don't think so, to be honest. I think I already did what I did, and I don't have to prove myself or anybody out there what I can do. I think for me, it's just nice to be back, and I'm super thankful the tour offered me a wild card to have another crazy winter around the world with a bunch of good people. I think it's so nice that I got the chance to live this kind of life again for a season, and I I can tell it might be for sure my last one. So no pressure, just enjoying the ride, and then maybe moving on in life. We'll see. Well, how I choose my lines, usually I try to keep it simple. That's my strategy, I guess, in life. Keep it simple, and that works pretty well for lines, I guess. I don't train, I guess, during the year for my lines. I'm a bit day by day person, so I never like think too much in the future. I always try to live the moment, and then once I'm there, I think about that. But yeah, not training about skiing lines. My biggest strength on the mountain. Whew. My biggest strength on the mountain is, I don't know. I have to ask my friends. I have to ask my friends. No, I don't know. I guess I can, maybe I can keep calm. I'm usually okay with like keeping calm no matter what happens. That's something I would say could be a strength, maybe. I try to stay chill like a Rastaman, and then yeah, it's a short pressure. So I usually try to not think about the comp, until I have to start. Then you ski, and skiing is always the same. And I don't know. I've been competing so many years, and I still don't know. Yeah, well, to relax, maybe sometimes I should relax a little more because, yeah, it's been a full-on year. As I said, when the skiing finishes, I like smash myself into climbing, and it's not like super relaxing, but I've learned through the years to take some days off for myself. I really like gardening. So when I'm relaxing, well, I'm actually working then at home because I have a place here that needs a lot of work and care. So, but I like it. I usually cut the grass and try to take care of my plants that I always plant beginning of summer, and then I leave and they almost die, but they never die at the end. They're good plants. And so, yeah, I really like to work with my hands usually and touch the earth, like trying to connect with the earth on a very basic, way of cooking. I like cooking. I like to take time to cook, like this kind of stuff. Like take care of yourself and your house. I think that's something that makes me happy and also relaxes me. Yeah, like life. I mean, if we would be only skiing, it would be really boring. But yeah, as I said, I really like gardening and plants. That's for sure a big passion. I'm too loose for a nice garden yet, I figured, but it's gonna happen. I really like doing other sports. Yeah, so I'm a definitely like sporty person. I love climbing, as I said. That's something it gave me a lot the past years in many ways, and also the connection I made with the people at climbing were amazing. I think when you are connected through a rope, it's super strong. Like that's a connection that I haven't had in many other sports in life. Surfing was more one of my biggest passions ever. I guess the the whole not connecting in the water, like the lineup, all this sometimes a little not so nice vibe made me like step away from it a little more. But yeah, I guess nature, like any connection that I have with nature is something very valuable for me. And That's my biggest passion. I wish I could play better guitar, but it's not happening, so I cannot say it's my passion. No, I don't have something like that actually. Like sometimes, no, I think sometimes I had maybe like a necklace or like a rock, but it's like always changing, and it doesn't, I don't want to get attached to something, because like, can you imagine you leave for whatever trip to come and then you forget that thing, you know, then you're gonna freaking out. So I try to not attach myself to things. I rather attach myself to feelings and people, but not things, because material is something I have a hard time with sometimes, to get attached to stuff. Yeah, to have fun again. Like that's my main objective. To party as hard as I did back in the days. I have to see if my party performance is still there like it used to be. And hopefully to ski well on the tour, of course. I mean, I'm not gonna hide that. Hopefully I can ski well, and I have a few dreams, a few things that I would like to be able to do in a run. So I'm not gonna say anything, but for sure I have a few goals that, yeah, we'll see if I can reach them. I mean, I'm not gonna stomp a triple cork or whatever, but yeah, it would be nice to, yeah, to ski some lines, do some stuff that I haven't done in the past. So we'll see. Well, yeah, the evolution of the sport, that's a tricky one. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's happening in every sport out there. It's evolving, and I always moved away from FIS. So I used to do alpine skiing, and I quit, and then I did some slope style, and then I quit because of that kind of system. So for sure, like seeing it in freeride now, yeah, I it took me like a long time to also like decide if I wanted to come back, because I actually told myself I didn't want to support this kind of system and the federation and all this, like, yeah, things that actually always made me want to leave. But at the end of the day, I really love the sport and I really love the community. So I thought I might just like put away my strict thoughts about it and just go to enjoy the ride. I personally hope that this is not gonna bring too much difference in between nations, because I experienced it with freestyle, slopestyle skiing. When we started, it was the first year, and with the Italian national team, we didn't have any support at all. Like we had to pay everything, and like it wasn't like so good. Now it's pretty good. But back in the days, I went to the comps and then I saw these like massive differences with other nations that had like the trainer, the physio, the photographer, the blah, 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 a lot of money, to train and so on. And I was like, wow, this is not fair in a way. But I'm so dependent from my country, that doesn't care about this sport. So for me, I just hope, I think, it can be cool for the kids out there, like if the sport grows and maybe you can go to the Olympics and whatever. I just hope that it's gonna be fair, it's gonna stay fair for everybody, because when I qualified for the tour, yeah, 10 years ago pretty much, I really enjoyed the fact that I could sign in. Nobody was telling me what to do. And it was the same for everybody, you had the same chance to make it on the tour. And I think that's so cool, So yeah, my hope is just that it's gonna stay fair, and yeah, hopefully the vibe will not die, because I think the vibe that we have in free riding is the best. It's for sure interesting to watch, and About my position, I just want to be a nice role model for the girls out there. And especially when we talk about safety, I would like to share my experience and tell them to listen to it themselves and so on. So yeah, hopefully I can be a good role model for them. My my dream is to become a mountain guide. So I'm working on this dream. It's a tough one for sure. It's not easy, but that would be my absolute dream. And if I can make it, I know I can still work with my partners, which would be amazing to like change my position, not leaving it, but changing it into another one. And yeah, my dream would be also to then organize like kids camps or like girls camps, like focusing on free riding with safety, and for sure trying to give my knowledge to the next generations, at least safety wise. Then trick wise, I think the young girls can come and teach me how to jump. But yeah, it would be nice for sure to be able to help out in the future. One of the, I don't know if proudest, but like, I mean, there were like a bunch of incredible moments through the whole time I had free riding. I mean, if we stay on the tour, for sure there's a few out of the tour, but on the tour, I really enjoyed when I won my second world title, because I remember I made a deal with Elizabeth Gerritsen, and we were like, it will be perfect if she wins the Extreme Verbier and I get second, like that she's the champion in Verbier and I become world champion for the second time. And exactly that scenario happened. And I remember when we had this hug on the podium, and it was so nice because I really like felt this friendship and like this community. And for sure, I could confirm my world title for the second time, which was nice and not easy, because I feel like the second year you have all this pressure from the people, you're gonna win again. But it was more about trying to share, with friends these moments. And yeah, I think it's one of the moments I remember, like most powerful moments in my career, and it was super nice. Yeah, I guess people that know me well, they usually tell me to listen to myself. Like sometimes I've been like maybe like drifting to taking decisions that were not coming from my heart. They were like coming from whatever, your head or your sponsors or the people out there, blah blah blah. And so the advice was always listen to your heart, and that's always that always worked. When I was in doubt, I tried to listen to my heart, and usually worked out. So yeah, that was the best advice, I guess. So gender, I'm not maybe the super advocate for it. I always try to give my best to, I wouldn't even say keep up with the boys, but I never felt less than the boys. And I always worked out just to give everything and be the best I could be. So I think gender wise, of course, I know there are still like so many differences out there, even in the normal world, not only in our freeride world. But for me, I think you have to work hard and give everything, and then usually life will come back to you. On the environment, that's super hard, because I think it's a super hard topic, because being a professional skier, of course, you travel a lot. I try always to be quiet with the topic, meaning I try to do my things and don't want to I don't want people to put me in a box, like I don't want people to be like, oh, she's a skier that is taking care of the environment, so she should not drive a car, like I always try to support local food. I try to plant flowers for the bees in my garden, like I try to work on the things that I have a power on it. I definitely, since COVID, I didn't travel a lot. I think it was a very nice excuse for me to explore all the places around home, and I had the best time ever. And I discovered places just behind the corner that I would never imagine they were there. It was really cool. But now, after like almost 4 years of not traveling a lot, I also felt this desire to be back on tour and travel a lot again, because the past 4 years I actually didn't fly much and I really enjoyed it. So I think, of course, not in the position to tell people what to do with the environment, but I think as long as you are aware of what happens around you and you try to make even just small things to make this world a better place, I think that's good. And everybody does it on a different scale. And maybe one day I can be a bit more environmentally friendly, but now I'm definitely not in the moment for it. Yeah, I don't like freeride. I just can't believe where snow dancing has brought me life, from the biggest mountain to the nicest beach. I I don't know how that happened. Like I I always loved skiing so much, and the one moment where I never feel like I grow up. Like when I click into my skis, it's always the same as like 20 years ago, or Monday I went skiing, and you like click in and you're like, yeah, that's my place. And yeah, that's, I guess, it's my life. And I'm super, super thankful for everything I got to experience through it. So everything. Mm, for sure it does. I mean, cul- cultural background. So I grew up with my mom, and my mom definitely thinks out of the box quite heavily. And my mom, she took me out of school to go skiing when I was very young, and she didn't care. Like, she was like, that's school of life. She was like, yeah, school is nice, but school of life is also nice. So I for sure like grew up with a mom that was a bit different, and my mom goes with the flow, like full on, even too much sometimes. And I think that's definitely like influenced my way of approaching everything in life, with this like keep it simple, like don't think too much about whatever the future, blah blah blah, like enjoy the moment and be thankful for whatever you have. So I think that impacted me on my style of skiing, and the way I approach the mountains and the way I approach free riding. I guess I also succeeded in the comps because I had this kind of approach that was, yeah, more about being thankful for what I have rather than stress out for what I could have in the future. And I think that was a super nice way of growing up. Of course, my mom, she asked herself many questions, I guess, back in the days, if she was doing the right thing, but I guess it turned out she did it. So yeah, definitely not easy to be a parent, but yeah, it was cool to grow up in a mellow way. And my dad, it took some more time to understand the way I wanted to live my life, but now he's one of my greatest supporters, and always the guy that is there to give me the right advice when I need it. So for sure, the place I grew up in, Alta Badia, and the parents I had, and for sure also the good friends, just a few, but they're still there in my life. They all influenced my way of living, and super happy, super happy.